This is the beginning for the 32 for 32 series, and we're going to start with the NFC North, especially the Green Bay Packers. So if you don't know what the 32 for 32 series is I will be going through all 32 NFL team drafts for 32 straight days. No breaks, no stops, 32 straight days, every NFL team draft. That's what the 32 for 32 is. And today is April 29th, and I'm here to bring it for you. So let's just get started with the very first pick. The Green Bay Packers decided to choose quarterback Jordan Love. Now, when I took a look at Jordan Love, before the draft, through the season, whatever, I felt as though he had the best arm talent. I felt as though he could make pretty much spectacular throws anywhere, everywhere. Very solid athleticism. He takes risk, but the thing is that he has up and down accuracy and decision making skills. But he does have a strong arm. And what I mean when I say up and down accuracy and decision making skills is that people blamed the coaching staff and the talent around him for him not making the greatest decisions. But when it came down to it, there was some accuracy concerns that were still there. I think that he is still a good, solid quarterback, someone that you can kind of mold and hone. And he's definitely a guy that, if you let him sit for a year, maybe even 2 years, he can become like an Aaron Rodgers type of player. The thing is that he has to learn how to not feel that pressure of taking risks. There was no point for him taking risks. I think that he took the risk, feeling as though, he needed to make plays. But when you had such a great season last season, and then you're going into the next season, and your stock is already high. The only thing he did was push the stock down. Jordan Love probably would have been a top 10 quarterback within this draft if you take that 2018 season and you put it with the 2019 season. But the biggest problem when it came to him is that what I saw, like I said again, the pressure. Pressure is a huge thing for quarterbacks. And if you're feeling a lot of pressure, you kind of wonder, can this guy be the next leader for my team? And that will be the biggest con for me. So I'm looking past everything. I'm looking past the arm strength. I'm looking past what they call the it factor on intangibles. Now I'm looking at the character. I'm looking at the person because I need to know, is this guy the guy that I want leading my franchise? So there it is. One thing before I get into the second pick, I just want to say, if you're still watching this video, I'm glad that you're watching. This is a situation where, because of coronavirus, obviously I'm not able to be in studio like I usually would be. So yes, I'm in a basement and I'm doing this video. It is what it is. But, for some other teams, I will be doing some studio sessions. I just couldn't do it now because, studio costs money. So it's not like it's an easy thing to always do and to put out. But, I have to at least, work my priorities into where I can basically pay for 32 straight days, which is a lot of money, or I can split it off in the fact of having some in my basement where I'm doing this video, which is still going to be good quality and fire content. And I can have some where I can actually be in studio. So I just wanted to put that out there right now. This is the reason why I'm in the basement. I'm not in studio, but you will get studio level content. So anyway, with the second pick, they decided to go with Boston College running back fullback. That's how I kind of feel with him. A.J. Dillon from Boston College. Big and powerful. That's really it. No speed. Like I said, he just needs to probably switch to fullback. I don't think that A.J. Dillon is a game-changing running back. Maybe he makes a good 1-2 punch with their running back. I forgot the name of the running back. I'm sorry, I forgot the name of the running back that was making plays for him last year. But maybe he can be a good 1-2 punch, and maybe that's it. But, it's a pick that I kind of scratched my head with because I felt as though there were better running backs on the board. one guy that actually didn't get drafted that I thought would get drafted at some point, Ahmad Selvin from Washington, would be a guy that I would have replaced AJ Dillon with in terms of who I would have picked. So it's a situation where I don't know what's going to be happening with this whole with them choosing AJ Dillon. What was the reason for it? Maybe they feel as though they can they have to run the ball better. And seeing what Derrick Henry did this past year, maybe they were trying to get a mold of a Derrick Henry with the AJ Dillon. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. That's their train of thought. But I just don't see how this is going to help the team right away, unless he just becomes Adrian Peterson out of nowhere. I just don't see it. But it is what it is. I don't want to really bash on them like crazy, but I just no. I don't think, and it wasn't worth the pick. There was definitely, even if they didn't choose the Washington running back, there was definitely better running backs on the board. So then with the third round pick, they decided to go with Cincinnati tight end Josiah DeGuara. Now, I didn't watch Josiah before the draft. A lot of the tight ends this year, they weren't the greatest. And maybe I just skipped his name. Maybe I didn't see his name. Whatever happened, I didn't get to watch the tape. But I actually went back and watched tape. And this guy's a good blocker. He has really good speed. He gets open when needed. And I couldn't really judge how great his hands were. Reason being is because there was only one game I was able to watch. And with all that I said, he did pretty well. It was a point where I did feel as though maybe the pick was justifiable. I don't think that pick was that worse. But the only problem is that I heard someone say that they're going to switch him to fullback. I do not. And maybe they misheard whoever they was talking to. Maybe they said AJ Dillon was going to switch to fullback. But if you can't switch Josiah is a good tight end. And I think that they could possibly have very well gotten the best tight end in this draft class. And I'm not trying to go there and just say, oh, yeah, this guy's the best tight end. But what I saw on tape was a skill set that said to me, if they saw something in him and if they got a plan for him, he could be a really, really good tight end for this team. And, maybe this actually does work out. We'll see. But I just know from what I saw from him, he is still a solid player. And he will probably be a solid pick for the Green Bay Packers. Then we jumped down to the fifth round. They didn't have a fourth round pick. They had a fifth round pick in Kamal Martin from Minnesota. I watched Kamal Martin. I watched him before the draft. I didn't see anything special. I didn't even, when I did my linebacker video prospect, who were the top guys, who were the guys I liked. Honestly, he wasn't a guy that I didn't even want to write about because it was frustrating seeing him. For the Minnesota team the defense that was so good, he was like that one player that just wasn't special. He was just on the team. So to be honest with you, as I look at this pick, fifth round, I would have said he would have been undraftable, be honest with you. But like I said, teams have certain schemes and fits, and maybe he fits a scheme for them. Maybe there's something that they saw that I didn't see, but playing football is just playing football. Yes, people play better in certain schemes, but if I see you I'm watching your tape playing football, and I see that you're missing tackles, or I see you're not reading well, or I see that you're not getting off blocks, or I see that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, then those simple things that make a good linebacker, it's not with Kamal. Kamal is athletic. Kamal's a pretty tough guy, but that's all you bring. If you don't bring the actual technical side with your athleticism, then you're not going to really turn out to be anything within the NFL. So I don't know what they saw in him, and is this pick justifiable? But I just know that I am not the biggest fan of Kamal Martin. I will just say that. Next, we're going to talk about Michigan, the sixth round, Michigan offensive tackle / guard, John Runyon Jr., prototype Big Ten offensive lineman. The prototype where he didn't have the best feet, but he was a really, really strong run blocker. If you put him in the guard, because he played tackle, if you put him in at guard, he would be even better. because he doesn't have the greatest feet, but he's a tough guy. He's a Michigan guy, so there's that type of thing. I think that y'all got a solid offensive lineman, and if he's going to replace a certain player within your offensive line, I think it could work out. I think that he's going to be a really, really solid guard. It's for the Green Bay Packers, and what he can bring if we're talking about a good blocker in DeGara and trying to get like a Derrick Henry type of situation with AJ Dillon, then maybe this situation with John Runyon will work out even better. So that's him. Then in the whole sixth round was just offensive linemen. So I'm gonna just say the next two names was sixth round guys, and they were both offensive linemen. Jake Hansen from Oregon. No. Indiana guard, Jake Hansen center. Indiana guard Simon Stepanik. I don't know how to say his last name. No, he needs to add strength. He's not athletic, just plain old bad. So I don't understand those two picks. I especially Simon. Simon was absolutely he was terrible. Jake Hansen was kind of saved by the Oregon offensive line in general. The Oregon offensive line was actually pretty good, especially Shane Limino. I think he went to the Giants in like the fourth round. He's a really, really good guard. Actually, my number one guard on my draft was Shane Limino. And I think that he was, kind of helped and saved by a guy like him being beside him. But just a straight up, just being a center interior lineman, I didn't think he was that great. And the same thing with Simon. I thought Simon was pretty bad. So, that is what it is. Then in the seventh round, the Green Bay Packers had two more picks. One was TCU safety Vernon Scott, good open field tackler, good range. Keeps things in front of him, and if not, he tracks the ball pretty well. From the two games that I did see from him, he was actually really, really good. And not to say that was surprising how good he was, but I didn't name him in my safety video because I didn't know about him until this draft, and now I see him, and I'm just like, wow, this guy, he probably should have been drafted a little bit higher. Could be a steal of the draft. Some people saying that when the Ravens picked up Geno Stone from Iowa, he would be the steal of the seventh round. I think it's Vernon Scott. I think Vernon Scott, safety, I think he has something with him that he can turn out to be really, really good in the NFL, especially just because his range is pretty darn good. And I think that him being a good open field tackler, honestly, I think he could start within 1 or 2 years within the NFL. And the Green Bay Packers could have a really, really good safety at a cheap rate as well. Then with the last pick, they chose Miami defensive lineman / defensive end, Jonathan Garvin. Tough, hard worker, but really slow. I thought he played slow. I think that, when he did get sacks, it was more of a situation where the offensive lineman just he hand fought his way to get the sack, and the offensive lineman didn't come off the balls quick enough because I don't think he has a great burst when it comes to him. And he, like I said, he doesn't have great speed. He doesn't play slow because of his instincts. He plays slow because he's a slow player. If you know what I mean, that's the way I could really kind of put it out there. He's a pretty slow player. So I think that overall, it was a solid pick. It was a pick that, he could turn into something if you give him a couple of years, but it's one of those guys where, he's going to have to be a hard worker. He's going to have to work hard to get where he needs to be. But I think it's still a pretty solid pick. And he should definitely work within the special teams unit, especially. He should be able to be solid in that, just because I know that he's going to be a tough, hard worker. So that is what it is. Anyway, that was the last pick for the Green Bay Packers. That was the 32 for 32 series for the Green Bay Packers. I thank anybody for watching this video. Anybody that's going to watch this series, please comment at the bottom below if you want to conversate about something or you don't like anything I said or whatever it is. Just comment below. Also, I have a Twitter, I have an Instagram, I have Facebook. All of them are Draft Raw. Please feel free to follow those pages. I always put up videos on those pages, especially. And then, I just appreciate anybody that's going to follow me through this series. 32 teams for 32 straight days. This is going to be a great series, and I'll make sure that I can give y'all at least good quality content. So anyway, once again, this is your boy Draft Raw ending this stream. Goodbye.